All right, welcome everybody. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. This is going to be a fun time, folks. We've got what's it, 4 hours and 45 minutes to go in sacrifice day number number 13. So pretty cool. So number 13, day number 13, about to finish in less than 5 hours, and then we've got 6 days to go, folks. It's going to be pretty epic. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Justin Davis says, yo, 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 good to see you in there. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course hit the bell as well. Share if you can. Also check out the join button to support the content creation on this channel. We've got elites, heroes, um, and Krakens. Get into there and choose one of those. Get and support this channel. It's going to be a lot of time. We're going to be covering Pulsechain for a long time to come, so it's going to be really cool. Now, Pulsechain obviously offers something for everybody, and it's going to be a system state copy of Ethereum, so it's pretty huge. First part, of course, is the sacrifice phase, then a public test net, then the fork, and then the go live for mainnet, and that's going to be super exciting. We're going to also see the price up of all the ERC20s on the Pulsechain get priced up from zero. So it's going to be huge, huge fun there, folks. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. All right, let's get straight into that. So we're going to go for that. I think I'm going to sneeze. This is funny. All right, let's go. We're going to get in here. Obviously we've got two parts. We've got the actual launch phase. We can see that the current rate per 10,000 points is $1.48 today. $1.48. So we're really at that 50% mark. Don't forget that's going to probably get up to about $1.98 by the time we get to the end. We are currently on day 13, and you can see it's about $1.50. So we're about halfway at the moment. And of course, once we get to day 19. It's going to be up to $2. That's just for the time bonus. Remember, earlier is better on the time bonus. And so there we are. Now we're going to see some whales up in this area here. Day 16, day 17, 18, 19. Are they going to play? Wow, it's going to be fun to see. I think the price chart today is looking pretty interesting for that as well. Let's go down to the second part. So this is the second part of the sacrifice. So sacrifice is optional. So you only go in there if you want to get pulse coins primarily. And so here we are. We've got a linear bonding curve of 1 to 2.5. So in the first 16 days, you can see this how it works in the first 16 days. People will be ranked based on the US dollar sacrifice. And of course, that will give them the multiplier. So you have the time bonus, 10,000 points per dollar, or up to $1.50 today. $1.48, and then you have the multiplier based on how you rank on that out of everybody for the USDC sacrifice. So pretty amazing. Then at day 17, 18, 19, you have the worst rates. It's a flat bonus of 1.75. So that basically you don't get ranked up on the 1 to 16 days. You're just getting a 1.75 flat bonus. But of course, the time bonus goes up. By that time, it gets up to close to $1.90 to $1.98, somewhere in that mark. For the sacrifice, so pretty huge there. All right, so we might actually see some big movements there though by whales. We'll see how it goes. It all depends on how much the price gets pushed up. If that does play out, that's just a one scenario. And when I talk about whales, that includes the sacrifice address itself. All right, so pretty cool. Here is if you want to enter the sacrifice, just hit the open dApp. We're currently on pulsechain.com. Hit open dApp. It will pull you up to the website called pulse.info. This is the official sacrifice dApp website, and you just connect your wallet, and then you can select the network of any token that you want to sacrifice. So all these ones: Avalanche, Binance Chain, Binance Smart Chain, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, EOS, of course, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Monero, Polygon, Matic, Ripple, Stellar Network, Tron, and Zcash. So pretty cool. That's it. And then you basically, if you chose to choose Ethereum, as I always pick, you would choose that, and then you get the official social media network sites. Make sure you use these because there's scammers out there, of course. Make sure you use these ones: Richard Hart on Twitter and pulsechain.com on Twitter. Telegram, of course, pulsechain.com and Telegram. That's probably where you get a lot of good chats in there on the voice chat and stuff like that. But just be critical of things that you hear as well. Richard Hart on YouTube, of course, does some epic videos on there. This is the official Ethereum one, of course, OX9C, ends in 62CB. And we've got all these official tokens here that you can sacrifice. Look at them all. The list has been dramatically extended since yesterday. Dramatically extended. We have got tons on there now. So we've got heaps of them. Look at them. Far out. It's been triple sized. So ZRX, 1 inch, Aave, Ample, AXS, BAT, Badger, BNT, Bond, Cell, Link, Comp, CRO, CRV, DIE, Fox, FEI, Frax, GRT, X, of course, which is the main one so far. Maker, PAXG, PAX, Ren BTC, Shiba, Sushi, SUSD, SNXX, Tribe, TUSD, USDC, USDT, Uni, Wise, and oh, interesting. Wise is on there. Oh, Wise is on there. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so Wise is on there. So that's one of the two projects. Wise and Axiom pretty much one's rumored, but it could be another. Could be there's at least up to one or two other projects that may not get copied over on the Pulse thing. That's interesting to see. We'll see how that plays out though in time. But interesting to see Wise on there. Hilarious. Wrapped BTC, wrapped ETH, USDC, YFI. That's interesting. That could mean a few things, of course. Having Wise on there, that's interesting. That could be both. Yeah, that's a couple of scenarios there. All right, so let's jump over to Pulse Lead. We'll get into the chat though. We've got a couple of comments there. Alex K says price is looking better today, but still want to add more hex to the pool. Day 16, 17 is where it's at. Yeah, absolutely there, Alex. Mac Paul. Hey, hi, good day. Good to see you, Mac Paul. And Scott Cutting. Hex is going to go to 5 cents after sacrifice is over. Well, interesting to see where that plays out there, Scott. There is a big buying wall at 5.42 cents. We'll see if that stays there or not. So we'll see. Alex K, hello Scott and Mac Paul and Justin Davis. Yeah, hello. Hi, says Scott Cutting. What else we got there? Scott Cutting says, well, this is all old, new. Have a good day, guys. Yep. So that's Scott. That's just the introduction for people that are not familiar. Alex K said, yeah, adding Wise is an interesting twist. Says Alex. Absolutely. And yeah, right. So yeah, basically that's the introduction to the Sacrifice and Pulsechain for you. So at this point, I'm going to hold the rest of my bag until the last 3 days. I expect that Hex will move up, but I think locking in the 1.7 multiplier is the best game for non-whales. Yeah. So if you're small, if you're smaller, then that 1.75 feature there is probably going to work in your favor because you won't get an epic rank on there on the multiplier there for the first 1 to 16 days. So that's why what we're talking about there is that for small players, probably 1.75x is pretty good, especially towards the end of that as well. All right, so that's the introduction, everybody. Man, all those new tokens. Woohoo! Awesome stuff. All right, let's get into the results, eh? Let's get into the actual results. 660.651 is sacrificed so far. Remember, this is based on historical data about the 1 hourly snapshot range when people sacrificed. And of course, it has some restrictions, some sends, and some staker app stuff's not in it and not included yet. The site only tracks the following cryptocurrency, but it's not affiliated with any of them. So it's got Aave, Link, DAI, Ether, Hex, Maker, Ren BTC, USDC, USDT, Uni, Bitcoin, Wrapped Bitcoin, sorry, and Wrapped ETH. So it's limited to that. Obviously, the time is counting down. 4 hours and 37 minutes to go till the end of day 13, but 6 days left after that. Day 5 is ended, so not sure what it says. Oh yeah, the first 5 days it's referring to. All right, so that's that. Let's have a quick look at the performance as well. This gives us sort of a long time. We can see that we're at about 2.66 million at the moment for today. Whereas yesterday we were 5.93 million. Day before 6.9. It's just on the Ether chain, member, with those particular pairs. 12.62 million. 17.7. So really tapered off there. But at the moment we're getting quite a little price pump at the moment on the Hex. So interesting. We'll see how that plays out as well. All right, so that's the time stamp there. So I've pretty much added on about 35 million onto this total to take into account all the other non-ETH stuff and plus a little bit missing off the ETH chain here through the sends and the staker app. So that's how we get to 695 million. I've just got it that's over 65. So it's added on basically another 5 million onto yesterday. So we'll see. That should be fairly approximate. Obviously, let's have a quick look at the leaderboard. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. So the top 100, of course, we jumped quite a bit in wallets. 39,227, but we could have quite a few small wallets coming on there. So that's where we're at. The top 100, of course, we've got the top 5. Not really much change there in the top 5. Number 2 is the God Whale. Let's go down and see what the top 100 is. So 779,479. So it's almost about to move over 480. So it has changed a little bit from yesterday as well. And so look at top 1,000. We're going to check that as well. So we'll look at Alex says, hello, smart move, Ramon. Says Ramon says, but I think locking in at 1.7 multiplier is the best game for non-whales at the end there. Yeah, and Alex K says it's a good game plan for almost all other cryptos too. Property review. Hey, good to see you in there. Pulses will be exciting. Absolutely, property review. And Alex says on day 17, you get almost all the time penalty nullified by that 1.75. Says Alex. Yep. All right. Let's quickly go into this one here. So we're going to have a look at the top 1,000. I'm just going to scroll that down there. Just waiting for that update. I'm not sure where my scroll bar's gone. It's just disappeared for me. Where's it gone? Yeah, it's gone right off the scroll bar. I can't see it at all. All right. Oh, mucking around. Oh, it's gone all over the place. Let me just pull that up. We're just about 1,000. Lost my scroll bar. $78,906 to be in the top 1,000 wallets on the ETH chain side. Interesting. That's up a little bit from yesterday too. And let's have a look at the top. I think it's up about 1,000, is it? Top 5,000. Let's view that. Check that out as well. So nice one. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, of course, and get into that. So waiting for that to update. So it's processing. So yeah, not too bad at the moment. Now we've got a bit of news flow from Richard too, so that's coming up shortly. So we're going to check all that out as well. It's waiting for this to update. Here we go. Yeah, started a bit late this morning, so a little bit behind my time zone. Cheers. I managed to get myself a latte. That's about it. Right, how are we doing here? Having a little funky chicken on this. Let's go scroll right down. Okay, so the top 5,000 now has moved up to 11,335. So certainly moved up a bit there, and I can't remember if that was actually sitting just below 11,000 yesterday. I have a feeling it was at 910 something, but I could be wrong about that. But now it's 11,335 to be in top 5,000. So pretty cool. But there was also a jump in the total number to 39,251 wallets on the ETH chain there, based on these sacrifices here on these ones. Pretty cool. Okay, let's jump from there and let's have a look at the market value at the moment of the sacrifices sitting in the wallet. So here we are. We've got quite a bit of ETH in there at the moment, 429, and it's almost $1 million. But let's have a quick look at all the ERC20s as well. So we've got 595 million sitting in there at the moment. That's based on the market value. We've got that's only increased by 15 million in the Hex so far. But we've still got about 5 hours to go. So if there's a big uplift in sacrificing, especially as the price has risen a bit, but we'll see. So 182,000 ETH in there, 416 million. So it's gone over the 400 million quite a bit there as well. So a nice increase in value. We've got USDC 127 million, DAI stable 27.4, and a Tether 22. So that's 50, 77. So 177, something like that, million US dollars. Now, what's this going to be used for? There's been speculation, like I said to you earlier, about the whales moving in the later phase. We're talking about the later phase here. The whales moving in the later phase over here. Will they pump the price up pretty massive? And if the sacrifice is one of them that does it, I mean, obviously sacrifice can amount 177 million. Obviously, it's going to be a bit bigger by the time we get there. That can actually do lots of different things: liquidity pools, marketing, all sorts of things. Obviously, not supposed to expect any work from others when you sacrifice. So it may just sit there. I mean, that's another one. May just sit there. May pay for certain things that are undisclosed, may go to marketing, may go to liquidity pools, may go to buying Hex on the market. So it might end up buying Hex on the market, and so that's where we're going at the moment. So we'll jump over to the Hex price. We can actually see that it's up pretty bullish there. We had a little price spike there, a couple of bots. A lot of those spikes are just bots trading, but had a nice little upswing in the Hex price. So you can see that's gone up quite a bit, up about 18-19% there, and a little spike up to 16. But like I say, that was a bot there with the big volumes, just the bot trading. So looking not too bad there. This is on the hourly at the moment on this chart, and yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see whether it decides to pump this price. If we go to the hourly chart, the daily chart, I should say. Jump there just a moment. Just going to refresh that. Let's jump back to the Hex Sacrifice. So yeah, this is 177 million. Imagine if it bought even a fraction of it buying Hex would really pump the price pretty big on that one. So here's the price here. So you could actually get that pumping, up. We talked about the top of the range being 40 cents. So it could really start moving that up quite strongly on it. Obviously, would then sacrifice the Hex that it buys. That would remove a lot of Hex on there as well. So see whether that does, any of that funds are used for that purpose. Because as I said, so far, I'm a little bit, Richard's into having concentrated volume, like the Origin wallet is, and the Hex controls, something like 9% or 85%, something like that, of the Hex. So 544 billion of the liquid volume, and then something like 13% of the staked amount. So if those numbers are accurate, now also has the 3 billion in the sacrifice address, which was up about 15 million overnight over the last 24 hours. So that'd be interesting to see whether he goes for that sort of rule again, because at the moment the Origin wallet or sacrifice address won't end up controlling the vast majority of the pulse. So will that USDC that's sitting in that wallet, all the stuff here, end up going onto Hex, pushing the price up, taking more Hex off the market and sacrificing that? Because remember, it's just a money go around, right? So that money that would just end up going around. Obviously, you are swapping out the USDC, independence of USDC for Hex. So once you do that, it's a one-off type of thing, because once you've got all the Hex in there, you haven't got the USDC, but you've made the Hex more pumpalicious, as I call it, by removing more Hex from the market. And that gets us to where we're at the moment, which is this page here, which is my favorite number, the Hex sacrifice number, 0.0484%. And if you highlight over there, you can actually see a little white line there. Hopefully you can see it on your screen, the sacrificed amount. So almost up at half percent, just up slightly from yesterday, because we only moved up about 15 million from yesterday. So it's only a slight increase. And we've got the volume at the moment. The circulating supply at 570. We know about 544 based on Gunther, the accountant's work 2 months ago, that was sitting at about 544 out of that 570. So there was 2 months ago, there's about 27 billion in liquid. And then we have staked, of course, staked as at 60.58 billion. And that's reduced actually down to what it was, down to about 9.549% stake. So that's down from about 9.7, 9.8 or something when it was down high. Now, in the future, will people stake more? That's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, a lot of new wallets coming in. We do see a lot of actually, out of a lot of the wallets that come in, we see a lot of stakers. So the number of stakers outdoes the number of unstakers. So if you go to Staker app, you'll see that the new stakers are, you get over 1,000 new stakers kind of thing, versus maybe 400 unstakers from memory. I have to look at the Staker app right now to see what the last 24 hours was. But the volume of the people unstaking at the moment, even though it's much smaller, is larger, because a lot of them are OGs. They've been around a lot longer, and so the dollar value of their unstaking, or the matured stakes, I should say, are higher. But that's going to change over time. Obviously, as you've got all the impacts of T-shares and the share rate and all that sort of stuff that you can see on these charts here. You can see the share rate only goes up. Look, it's only going up, and only will ever go up. And you can see what's at the moment, 18. Let me get there. About 18,300, or just over 18,300 per T share at the moment. So that only ever goes up. And then, of course, if the price of Hex goes up, as we said, the scarcity is going lower. That's why we're so excited about this number here, because 0.484% is just squeezing that liquidity. So if it was about 4.8% liquid, it's it's going down. It's going down again, squeezed down to about 4.3, and then only goes back up a little bit if stuff's coming out of the staker class, like early unstakes and inflation that comes out. So that's where it's at. If you had 100% of people, if this was 100% of all Hex staked, then you would be down at 3.69% earning rate. But because there's only 9.549% staked, you're actually getting 38%. So that's the flip side of that as well. So fundamentals are going forward, right? More people staking, staking longer. They're getting the squeeze here by this number here with the sacrifice as a use case for Hex, and so that's squeezing that down liquid. And of course, you're getting more demand, more wallets on the other side, as I always say. So really cool seeing the trend as your friend, and the fundamentals looking pumpalicious, which is my new kind of new word. It's a lot of fun saying that one. But anyway, all right. So and what we got at the moment, we got a nice little, like I say, nice little pump on today on the Hex price, 13.5 cents. Now I said yesterday I was actually quite happy with the price holding up where it was, and I said that's actually looking quite good in my view. Said if we got another red candle, that I'd be a bit, a bit worried, but we didn't. And there we are. We're back up today, 13.5, looking good at the moment. And yeah, we've got only 6 days to go after this. And of course, once we get to 17, 18, 19, we get the flat rate, and then we get some wild moves and potential. Let's see what happens to this USDC. Of course, that's just a couple of scenarios that I painted out that could help. But man, imagine if that happened. That would be really spurring this Hex price on. Now, the other comment that we had, of course, let me go back to the chat there. I'm just going to, before I move on, I'm going to jump to some chat. Scott Cutting. So after first year, what's your prediction of 500x? And for Pulse, yeah, I'm not don't have. I'm going to do a calculation. I was supposed to do it today, but I had a lot of stuff on the last 24 hours, so I wasn't able to get to price stuff. But I think a 10 to 100x is fairly safe, just as a general cover for that one. Alex K for Pulse or Hex, Scott Cutting. Pulse says Scott Cutting. And hey, switch to crypto. Any correlation between Pulse name and Richard Hart? And not that I'm aware of. I actually don't know where the Pulse name came from. I don't know if Richard's talked about it. If you do know, if you remember Richard talking about that, let us know in the chat. It's quite a very good name though, right? Tekkin says Accent will be on Pulse, right? Now, we're not, there's going to be 2 tokens that were copies, so-called copies, I should say, that weren't going to be on, but we already just saw a shock there with Wise being included in the sacrifice. Now, that doesn't mean a lot because that could just be sold on market for USDC or ETH or whatever. So it doesn't mean too much, but of course, if you speculated that it could be, because basically virtually all the tokens on the ETH chain are going to be copied over except for at least 2 and maybe some other meme coins. But they were traditionally the copy, but it was a bit of a shock to see Wise in there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Doesn't necessarily mean that Wise is going to be copied over, but that they would. I remember Wise has got I think it's like number 3, number 4 biggest liquidity. Sometimes it's number 1 actually, but it just moves around. The biggest liquidity pool on the Ethereum blockchain because they locked the liquidity. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now they may just sell that Wise down into USDC like they've been selling a lot of other stuff, or they may the sacrifice I'm interested in talking about, or they may or that may actually be copied over. So we'll find out at this stage. Still not expecting probably those 2. There are a couple other possibilities. So it hasn't been explicit. Obviously, a lot of community's been talking about it's probably Wise or Axion, but we'll see how that plays out. I don't think I've ever heard Richard say explicitly who they are, but there are 2 other options that could be projects that he was referring to. So that's also the case. So, but obviously, Wise and Hex both have share rates in them. Other than that, they're not the same, right? So they're very different projects. After that, obviously, Axion gives out wrap BTC as dividends, so Hex doesn't give out wrap BTC dividends, and have auctions every day, not just 350 days, but every day. Also, they've got lots of other stuff different on it as well on top of that. And then, of course, Wise has locked liquidity, also has airdrops in USDC on the Wise B. So there's a lot of difference there. Obviously, Wise locked its liquidity as well. So lots of big differences there between the 2 between the projects now. They're probably the similarities, obviously the share rate in there, but even the share rates have been changed. So the share rate's been changed in Axion, and I think it's similar in Wise, but I'm not sure whether the actual inflation code is similar. Unless they're just using the same compound rate. So some differences there for sure, but we'll see. We'll find out. I don't think it's going to be a big game changer. Well, obviously, Axiom Vision 3 is coming out after audit now, which delayed it a little bit, but it's coming out maybe late September, October, and that will be dealing with gas fees on the Ethereum chain. So Axiom Vision 3 has its own solution, and obviously it has relative scarcity from that point of view. It's still Axiom's still in its inflation phase, so it's still going on from there. But yeah, they'll be having their own solution, whereas Wise is having to move off to other new chains to deal with the ETH fees, and of course Hex is having to create do a fork of Ethereum to deal with the big fees coming up from the S-load function. So there's different solutions, different stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes there, but not expecting it at this stage for those two, but it could be two other ones as well. Good question though. Thanks for that. And Alex K says, I don't think Pulse. Alex says, I don't think Pulse will outperform Hex overall, but of course Hex will have nearly 2-year head start. Absolutely, Alex, will agree with that one. A number of things in the house. Hey, what are the chances Pulsechain will function perfectly when it launches? Well, this is the big thing. I talked about this yesterday. A number of things is that you've got the operational risk, right? But I guess this is the point. Number of things is that a lot of the Hex stuff is tried and true. Sorry, a lot of the Ethereum chain is pretty much proven. It's a workhorse. Blockchain 1.0 trying to move to gate itself or dock itself into ETH 2.0, but it looks like it's taking ages. All that sharding stuff and everything coming up. And obviously, it's going to launch. So some of the enhancements, of course, going to launch with the validated proof of stake. So like this, so there is still some operational risk remaining, obviously, to live. Now the code's been published, and so we've also got to run public testnet as well. So there is still a few little hurdles there to get through, but I think it mostly should be okay. Obviously, those enhancements are probably the biggest issue, but also the most exciting features as well. So we'll just have to wait and see, since I guess something that every project takes into account. Hexdown says this is going to cost you 1.75x more. Earlier pays better, is what the man said. Earlier does pay better, especially if you're on the but we've moved past, a lot of that, like it's $1.48 for 10,000 points today. And so if you get to the end, day 19, 5,000 times the 1.75 multiplier is what you're going to get. Big Hound, big confusion on this, I think, says big Hound. Not sure. You're talking about the flat rate at the end? Yeah. Dat dodgy guy, whereabouts in New Zealand you live? I live in New Zealand. Don't really talk about that online much about exactly the area, but definitely North Island, so pretty cool. X-Hound, excuse me, 1.75x more cost. So that's in the bonus multiplier, so it's a volume bonus multiplier. We'll just go back to that. So that's the second part, of course, down here, and that was what we're talking about, day 17, 18, 19. So after day 16, that the volume ranking in USDC only ranks for those 16 days. So once you're out of that, and if you're on the bottom end of that, then you're probably looking at a better multiplier there at the 1.75. You've got a worse, the earlier pays better is more expensive. So you're up here in this top part on day 17, 18. See, day 17, 18. So you're looking at $1.80 up to $1.98 in those last days for that, for 10,000 points. And then your multiplier is a 1.7 on that. I've gone too far. 1.7 on that there. So that's how it works. So like 19, 5,000 points times 1.75 is what you'd get flat. All right, Alex K says Hexhound, there are two separate variables. Yep, and hopefully I've covered those. Alex, one for time, one for volume, absolutely. And Alex K says time penalty always goes up, but last 3 days volume bonus is flat, 1.75. Yeah, so if you're in the first 16 days and you're really at the bottom of that volume multiplier, like there'll be thousands of accounts that will be, then probably waiting to the last couple of days might actually pay better for you. That's why we say it's probably better for smaller people. But of course, if whales move the price and you got on at the time that they decide to move the price up, then that would be the place the play. And of course, if the sacrifice address uses all that USDC, if it decides to use some of it, even just some of it, because it doesn't take much to move the Hex price. If you put in like $20 million, you can move that price pretty fast, and so forth. So yeah, Alex K says number of things. It's on EtherClone. Yeah. Battle Highland Plus they were with testnet first. Yeah. So I guess it's it's like I say, I think it's just repeating what I said. So that's cool. I agree with that 100%. Raymond says that it will at least work as well as Ethereum. Should do, but it's got. I don't know if the tag-ons, the proof of stake stuff should all work too. We'll see. I still think there's still just a tiny bit of operational risk around the new features that is. We're up to. How long will the public testnet last? I'm thinking 2 weeks, but could be a week. Let's see how that goes. Alex K says, depends if they're, I don't know if Richard's actually said about the terms. Let them know in the chat if you've heard him actually say that. Alex K says, Ramon, depends if there are any problems, probably a month. Yeah, maybe a month. Yeah, because Richard's talking about 30 days to 60 days till public testnet. Last time we talked, and I think that's within the last, maybe a week ago he said that. So could last a month. But I know that he's pretty keen to get that public testnet running through pretty fast. Alex K, people will also be using testnet to build things. Yep, probably. Definitely testing it out. Gab A's in the house. Hit the like, folks. Yeah, definitely hit the like there. Subscribe, of course. We're about to hit 2,000 subscribers, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's been a lot of work to get up to that point, but big help. Thanks for everybody watching and all the community. We're getting there for sure. Helps with the algorithms, of course. And Justin David, what are bot trades? So bot trades are just often the algorithms that are just running to see whether they can beat to grab some returns inside a trading liquidity pool. And so if someone's got things around slippage and stuff like that, they can often do that. So algorithms, typically speaking. Let's quickly go. I think we were up to here. I'm not quite. Got to make sure I get up there. So there's some of the questions there. That we got the price looking really good. Like I say, the liquidity pool's down to 52 million Hex on V2 and 22 million on V3 on that. So that's not too bad. Pretty back. We basically, because that was up to 50. Was it 54, 57 yesterday? That there was up higher too on the version 3. So obviously higher price means less in the pool, which is nice. And this is all looking pretty good. All right, so let's jump over to the Hex price. That's where we're at the moment, 13.5 cents. Hey, I think we might have that might continue to go up. We'll see. Obviously, we've got 5 hours to go until the sacrifice to make sure that if you want to get into that, let's have a look exact time. We've got 4 hours and 14. Sorry, 4 hours 14 out to go before it goes up 5% again. And it's definitely at $1.48 at the moment. So if you're considering doing a sacrifice today, that's what it will be. And of course, it's about halfway through this price rise right now. All right, so let's quickly go to Richard Hart's news, the news. Let's go check it out. So here we are. This was from yesterday, but might as well say it again. Congratulations, Cardano. 2.6 million of adoption has been bought, and that's obviously Charles Hawkins we talked about yesterday. And we'll go past these ones. I think we were going to do. I think I covered these yesterday. We covered that one, yes, that's where we're up to. And so this is the new, I think fairly new. I don't think we talked about this today. So Pulsechain sacrifice phase at pulse.info has generated Dogecoin sacrifice, total 2.3 million, 2.4 million Doge, currently valued at 500,000 US dollars. So pretty nice there, $500,000. And then there was an update 23 hours ago, and interesting pulsechain.info sacrificed by chain, rough estimate, Ethereum 600 million. So I'm a bit curious about this number because that doesn't really relate to this number here. So I'm not sure what Richard's quite referring to there on the 600 million. Sends 25 million. I think that's pretty acceptable. I think we've been talking about 26 million. No doubt that's actually probably gone up. So I'm not sure whether that's the latest number either. Bitcoin 11 million, and that there looks too low as well. So I'm not sure about that one. BSC, BNB 2.5, Bitcoin Cash 2.2, ADA 2.5, XRP 750, EOS 650, Dodge 500, Matic 400, XML 250,000, AVAX 100, and TRX 100,000. So yeah, that's the list, but I'm sure a couple of those aren't quite right. Monero, 1 million, love your work, and Litecoin, 1 million, thanks Satoshi Live. Like how he does that, it's pretty hilarious. But that's pretty fun. All right, so and then 21 hours ago, easy to watch sacrifice addresses, some easy to watch sacrifice wallet addresses. It's got a whole list here, so definitely check that out if you want to have check that out. So we've got Etherscan, Cardano, BSC, Explorer, so lots of cool stuff to go check that out. What else we got here for the news? So we got Chain Explorer on AVAX, Tron Scan, and then BTC, hard mode, BTC, use these structures from the BTC, but electronic cash, so just another way of looking at those sacrifices, I guess. And what else? Now valid for sacrifice. So we did note that on the sacrifice list that we had all these new tokens today. So it was just look at that. It's amazing. So that's there, just referencing all this stuff here. This is talking about all the new stuff there. Now valid for sacrifice. Pretty awesome. And that wise one's definitely an interesting one. I'm pretty interested in that one. That's pretty hilarious. Obviously because there was 2 that were going to be excluded. And we'll see how that goes on that. Obviously, projects can jump onto Pulsechain afterwards, after after the launch, and they could theoretically airdrop their own community if they wanted to. So I mean, it's not like you can block stuff on an open chain. But just on the initial pumpermentals, but that could create a second wave of pumpermentals. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Not entirely fast. I actually think that the Pulse chain itself is going to be really cool and offer a lot of value in particular. So I think that's what excites me about it. Ready to take over? Do your part. Censorship resistant network PLS on off ramp. Best store of value Hex and anonymity. You try to say that word at home, anonymity. It's quite a tough one there. Dex and a wallet's awesome community. So nice little video there from Richard. For Cork, you can just go watch that one. Actually, I might. Not sure if that's is that embedded. Looks like it is embedded. So you can check that out. Maybe just what's the ref on there? No, embed tweet. All right, so you can check that out on Richard Hart Twitter. And what else we got there? Guys, you need to fill court press, get eyeballs on this now. Might save all our lives. Please email everyone with an audience you know. Mention them too. I raised 25 million for medical research to save our lives. Ends in 6 days. Can we talk about it soon? So this is basically talking about this is getting a lot of press, and that just for all the community, Pulsechain community, I guess Hex community, and everyone else to get out and spread the word about this. Contact media outlets and stuff like that. So it's well worth doing. And stuff like that. So also, I know you love charity and research tokens. You only have 6 days left. So there's just keep going. Pulsechain cryptocurrency raises mind-blowingly 25 million in 5 days, and it's on express.co.uk. So I know that it's also taken up. Also know here's the other thing: Binance moves the withdrawal limit 33x lower from 2 Bitcoin to 0.02 Bitcoin for people that don't send them selfies and personal information. So that's Binance making those moves, trying to do AML and all the rest of it, probably limiting the amount that people can. It's really anti-blockchain, right? Binance is, if you think about that, it's not really a blockchain. Blockchain's really about being free and freedom. Obviously, states, governments, and states and stuff like that will be trying to crack down on that, and they want you to have freedom on the blockchain. They want to be able to control all your stuff through their houses, and I guess the crypto community will resist as much as possible, and obviously they can always move to other places as well. Monero bug, XRM, if it uses spend funds immediately following the lock time in the first 2 blocks allowable on consensus rules 20 minutes after receiving funds, then there's a good probability that output can identify as a true spend. So just put heads up there. And of course, this is the ongoing saga with Alex, and of course, allegations about this crypto person with scamming other people, including try to scam Richard for Bitcoin loans, stuff like that. Yeah, wow. And but people, it looks like former colleagues of Nugget's new CEO have distanced themselves from this crypto influencer after allegations that were made against them. So a lot of stuff happening there, of course, and that sort of being tied it back into the Sense Foundation stuff is that I think in Australia they're being able to say, well, even though it's negative about the crypto influencer, it's positive about the Pulse chain stuff going on there, just showing that good things are being done. So pretty cool. And yeah, here we are. BTC at 18 million now, by the way. So yeah, so that comes back to this 11 million that was in here earlier. We scroll back down here. So this 11 million didn't look right. So that's actually at was at 18 million now. So pretty cool. Let's go, yeah, 18 million on that one. The other stuff, so here we are, there's just a lot of those stuff there, hodl, and sacrifice so far, non-Hex 200 million, Hex 400 million, so interesting numbers there. Don't really line up with the Pulse lead numbers, so I'm not sure exactly what Richard's referring to there. And that's it for that news. But of course, also on the Hex, I think under the Hex contracts, there was a new contract issued a couple of days ago called Hex Swap. So that's been the talk of the town, Hex Swap contract being loaded, and of course that may lead on to other things as well. Hex Swap on the Ethereum blockchain there. So looking forward to see what that's actually, if it's going to have any functionality. Obviously, if you're loading it on, it has to do something, Hex Swap. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out too. So let me know in the chat if you've heard anything about Hex Swap. Get in there. Food TV, congrats on your YouTube growth growing. Hey, thanks Food TV, I appreciate that. And it's always fun seeing Food TV and all the chats as well. Pretty cool. Food TV is clued into the ecosystem for sure. Can you check how many holders now for Hex? Now holders for Hex. Let me have, I haven't actually pulled that page up. Let me think about where I put that. I'm not sure if that's on live. Vision. I haven't actually got my phone with me at the moment. Wait a minute. Hex .vision. I think that's on there. I'll just quickly check that. Yeah, actually, this is the page. I normally have this page up, but I didn't pull this one up. Good one there. Here we go. Hex.vision, folks. This is a really cool site, actually. It's a big data site for the Hex ecosystem. And I was actually saw a couple comments on a stream yesterday that were hilarious. They were making speculations that were completely wrong about the speculations. That was quite hilarious. So just shows you got to be careful what you listen to. So yeah, I think we're on. We have this stuff down here. So 317,372 addresses. So up about 430 on yesterday. So not too bad. Staking still higher than pre-pulse, but pulling down a little bit there. Yeah, so hopefully that's answered that one. Anglo guy, who else thought Richard was streaming? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he is. He normally gives a heads up on Twitter for that. Hexhound, I still think all you Hexkins are wrong on how it works. I could be wrong. We will all do good regardless. I've fully sacrificed day 1 and 5. Well, that's lucky. That's good, Hexhound. You're going to do well from that. You've obviously it's played in your favor for doing that. Anglo guy, say to boat 5x fast. Say to boat 5x fast. Yeah, right, 5x, 5x. Yeah, that sounds pretty funny, Anglo guy. Alex says, Hexhound, assuming prices stay the same, days 1 to 5 are the best options, so you are fine. Waiting to the end is a bit of a gamble. It is a gamble, and obviously, really, we'll see whether we get some wild moves, particularly the OA. Because, like I said to you, the biggest issue I have actually with Pulse is that it doesn't have one of Richard's principles. Is obviously crypto is always best at the beginning when it's concentrated in a few hands, and of course. I don't see where they're going to own, other than a Genesis wallet owns 1%. Then I don't see where they're going to own a lot of the supply. Like Hex, obviously the Origin wallet controls something like 85, 90% of all the Hex there, and now even more with the sacrifice address if you link the two. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he basically moves the contract to go and spend some of that USDC to buy Hex on there and get a big supply. But even still, it's going to be interesting how that plays out. Otherwise, it really is in the hands of the peoples, as it were. And if you look at Hex, the Origin wallet is a feature of the Pumpermentals. So we're looking forward to that. That's kind of some of the rationale there. We'll see how that plays out. So obviously 1%, you can't really influence the supply with 1% other than selling down the liquidity market, which is normally not a Pumpermental. So yeah. All right, Alex, guys, I hope all is well, my guy. Hey, 337 guy, good to see you. Yeah, all is well. Got up a bit late this morning and been quite busy as well, so I haven't managed to do some of the things I was wanting to do for this live stream today. So I do apologize for that. Was it Liberty says, Liberty guy off grid. Hey, hi Alex, any thoughts on what are the best ERC tokens and coins to be holding at the time of the airdrop? And I don't know if Alex has answered that. I'll look down the comments there. And 357 got also will Pulse come out at 0 and price discovery yes, Pulse comes out at 0. All tokens on Pulsechain will come out at 0, but Pulsecoin will probably be up price first, and then it will flow through all the others, or will it come out much higher? They all start at 0, but they all get priced up. There's a pricing mechanism that's going to kick it all off. Ramon Carrillo, love that name. Yo, we'll all do fine. Yeah, absolutely. So anybody getting in, if Pulse does anything like Hex or any any of the other ETH copies, then I'm sure everyone will do fine. And just like Hex at the beginning, everyone's done super fine out of that. So yeah, absolutely. And remember, I think we talked about ETH when it did when it started at 33%. It's done like up to 13,000x on the lowest price because it went 33 cents. I think it went down to 15 cents, and it went up to what's the all-time high, 4,400 or whatever. And so that's like 13,000x. So everyone should do pretty well if you're early Genesis wallets. that you should do pretty cool. Also, there may even be, but this is not a guarantee, but there may even be airdrops just like Hex people got. They got 4, 5, 6 airdrops. So any Genesis wallet could get in favor for that as well. So something to potentially look forward to. Hex Hound, Alex K, it's all very exciting. Going to be fun seeing Pulse launch. It's going to be huge fun. It's going to be the biggest thing this year, I reckon. It's just going to be so fun. What are they all going to get valued up? Are they going to, all the tokens? Obviously, I think Uni token's going to be pretty good. It's going to get priced up, so try and get some of those. Obviously, PHEX, stuff like that. But lots of projects. Also, projects, as I said yesterday, projects that are just have said they're going to be developing onto Pulsechain will probably get priced up pretty well. So like Trust Swap and stuff like that. I think they're all they probably happen even Pulse stuff on ETHchain will get that if they're on Pulsechain. Say they're going to be developing on Pulsechain, will probably get priced up even a bit more on ETHchain. We're going to look out and see whether it happens, but it happens quite often, sort of thing. So it's going to be interesting too. Ramon says, I predict Christmas will come early for Pulse holders. Yeah, I agree. Hex Hound, Alex Gay, but I made a prediction Richard will come out and call everyone a dumbass, and that he told everyone earlier pays better. Yeah, absolutely, Hex Hound. That's guaranteed. Food TV, thumbs up for that one. Yeah, absolutely. And Mealy Tactician, would you please explain what would happen on the first day? Bridges or be ready, I reckon. There should be one bridge. We're talking about a narrow bridge so far. I think Richard was talking about, and it will pump the price up. That will do the Pulse chain, and it will run through all the other tokens, and it'll all start getting priced up. It's pretty much how we expect that to happen. We've actually got a lot of that stuff's on here. Here you can see on the actual pulsechain.com site. We're getting the bridges here, but it sounds like it's going to be a narrow bridge to funnel a lot of the economic energy into Pulsecoin, and that will really give Pulsecoin a lot more value with the connections, and obviously trading as well. All right, let's have a quick jump over to where was I at the moment on the price. I think it was on the price. I'll leave it there for a while. And Justin Dave says, "What's public testnet?" So it's going to be putting the code live. It's going to be like the mainnet kind of thing. It's just to see whether it's got anyone can find any issues with it. Obviously, it's been well tested. It's been ready for a little while, Richard said, but we're going to see whether there's any edge cases that have been missed or any vulnerabilities, stuff like that. Anything that's not quite working, they can fix up stuff. So they may find little bugs, but it's do they find any major bugs? Obviously, it's based on the Ethereum code, but it's been enhanced a little bit. So we'll see. Alex Casey is Liberty guy off the grid. Hex is the best option by far. The best are gamblers. Some will try stable coins, others will try DeFi plays. Yeah, absolutely. And Hexhound, you're doing a great job with this channel. I appreciate that, Hexhound. Really appreciate that very much. Liberty guy off the grid. Great. Thank you, my friend. You're most welcome. And what are we up to? Is Jizzy Mac. Jizzy Mac, cool name. Jizzy Mac. So much opportunity coming on Pulsechain. Absolutely. And that's a huge thing, right? Obviously, everything's going to get priced up to zero. It's going to be airdrop, and it's going to be epics on the ETH chain. It's not another chain. It's on a tight, number 2 chain. And man, it's going to be fun to see what happens. Biggest airdrop, big gold rush, Wild West. But obviously going to be pretty epic, going to be superior. It's going to be where Ethereum chain wants to be, but is taking a long time to get there. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We will be looking at the public testnet, see how that plays out. That's very smooth, and it's going to bode very well as well. So very cool. Liberty guy, on day 1 of Pulsechain launch, do you think we will be able to purchase PHEX? Yeah, I do. Yeah. All right, so let's have a look here. The fiat gateway is going to be through the Ethereum chain, as I understand, so onto Ethereum, and then through the bridge, and then through the Pulse, onto the network. That's the way I understand that it's going to work, based on a comment that Richard made. So I think that's it. Let's go back to the Pulse lead. How are we doing for time? 50 minutes. Hey, we're doing pretty well today. What time is it here? Yeah, not too bad. Almost lunchtime for me. Almost 1 o'clock. And we're counting it up. Oh, it's just gone up a bit there. 661,127. Nice. And of course, there is a few hours to go until we actually have the sacrifice day 13 finish. So 3 hours and 56 minutes till day 13 finishes. You will get 10,000 points for $1.48. And obviously, day 1 to day 16 is if you're trying to rank yourself on the USD schedule. So definitely benefits, people above the mean, as it were. And then day 16 to day 17 and 19 benefits really a lot of smaller people, unless the whales decide to move and push that price up. And there's probably only a few players that could do that. And obviously the sacrifice address itself is probably the most obvious at this stage. There was also the Godwell. Godwell's still sitting on, I think it was 188 million hex on there too. They've already bought that, of course, but they have a lot of DOSH as well. They have about as much, or maybe just slightly, probably as much, yeah, probably around about as much as an ETH value of USDC as the sacrifice address has. So definitely two big whales there. Plus, we've obviously got Overwatch and a few others that are known in the community as well playing around. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But hey, price looking pretty good. They're closing up on 14 cents, and that's looking pretty nice. Let's look at the hourly on that. Oh, I've actually made the chart too big there. So we'll get rid of all these other indicators. Actually, let's go back to the indicators, look at the daily on the indicators, and see what the indicators are telling us. Yeah, so still a little bit bullish here on the CCI index, this commodity index, and not so bullish on the MACD on the daily, sitting in the middle there at the moment on the DMI. So not too bad. It's definitely building. I think we're building definitely with an uptrend in the chart itself. Let me just get rid of some of these things. Probably should have reset my chart, but hey. So I've had, yeah, definitely a nice uptrend going here. Beautiful, looking good. And obviously 6 days to go. Now imagine a wall, day 19 is a wall, and after that you'll be able to buy PHEX on, Pulse on once the mainnet launches. But at the moment we've got 6 days and we're slowly getting towards this wall on day 19. So it's going to create a bit of pressure there. And like I said, I'm not really sure how Richard, normally he loves concentration, and at the moment the sacrifice address, the Genesis address I should say, is only going to have 1%. So obviously there's all that USDC sitting in that wallet. What's going to be used for? Interesting. That really is going to be quite telling. Obviously a big play would be Hex, push the price up, sacrifice within a half an hour period. That would be pretty awesome. Now, if you're a smaller player and you manage to time that, if it does happen, it's only a scenario, of course. If that does happen, then that'd be super huge for getting some good amount of pulse as well. But we're waiting to see whether that happens. We don't know. We're just speculating on that stuff. Also, obviously, Hex swap around and the contract that got launched on Hex. So that's pretty interesting stuff as well. What's that going to be used for? Is also something of interest. Pretty cool. All right, how are we at 54 minutes? Let's quickly, I think we've got one more comment here. Mealy Tactician, the initial market cap will be around 1 to 1.5 billion. Seems to me, even if as a starting point will be 0, this amount corresponds to the sacrifice amount. Is that right? So at the moment, obviously, sacrifice is sitting around about, just under 700 million at the moment, in my view. Yeah, it could be worth that much. Yeah, if you do just a straight multiplier, yeah, it could be worth that much, but could get quickly priced up pretty quickly to that. Let's go actually check out that on CoinGecko. If you think that Pulsechain should be worth a percentage of the Ethereum blockchain, Ethereum blockchain is worth 267 at the moment. So 267 billion. So if you say it's worth 10% of that, 20% of that, then you could see Pulse start pricing itself up to that, of course. But once again, I expect it to go up and then start pulling back, but only down to a certain point because of the cost to get in with the Pulse sacrifice itself, and then start moving up over time. It's kind of what I expect to see happen. But yeah, and it should move to some sort of percentage of this. It's going to be 10%, 20%. That's what I was going to do on my spreadsheet today, but just haven't had time. I do apologize for that. But I'll try and get in there and do some numbers definitely for tomorrow to see how I get on today. I've still got quite a busy day today ahead of me as well, but I'll try and do my best to get that as well. All right, so pretty cool. So we could see, definitely, if you just do 10% of this, it's 26 billion. Then could see a big re-rate there as well for that. So Alex K says Liberty guy off the grid. I think you have Pulse. Let me have a look. I think you have Pulse. I think if you have Pulse, you should be able to buy PHEX as early as possible. Yeah, agree with that. And bridges may come a bit later. Yeah, so I think he was talking about having a narrow bridge on there early, and at least with the PX ETH pair, like sorry, not PX. I keep saying PX, but Pulse and a Hex pair. So I should have that up and running with a narrow bridge, and that should get things moving. And then a bridge should come later. Third-party bridges also will pop up, no doubt, as well. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for today. What do you think? Is that it for today? I think so. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Let's see. I'm going to just check and see whether I'm at 2,000. Let's see whether I hit 2,000 during the live stream. I was at 1,999. Let me just check. Might as well announce it on this channel if I made it 2,000. They're at 2001. Woohoo! 2001, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for subscribing, liking, sharing. Of course, onwards up to 2,500, I guess, is my next target. So very cool. Awesome. Well done. Takes a bit of work to get up to there, folks, but do appreciate everybody supporting the channel as well. And hopefully you're going to enjoy the Pulsechain coverage for a long time to come as well. I also going to be covering some ETH chain stuff as well. Going to cover a bit more around about the chains, and some obviously really cool DeFi projects. Gonna just the high quality gold standard ones, because there's only a fraction of 1% of all crypto that's got really good value in my view. So we're going to cover that, but big awesome stuff on there. Jizzy Max says thanks, congrats, absolutely. Hey, we're almost up in an hour here, 57 minutes, 58 minutes, so we'll probably end it here, and don't forget to catch me tomorrow. It's going to get more exciting as we get closer, I think, because we just don't know what's going to happen with some of these speculations that we've been making. So it's going to be cool. Alex, as always, head moderator, thanks so much. Awesome, stellar work as usual. And happy sacrificing, everybody. And of course, nothing in here is investment advice. Do your own due diligence. And we'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out. Cheers. Take care.